Hey y'all, it's your girl, Mara F. Baby. Please say the baby. And I am back. I'm back. It's been a long, long time.
What we do here is go back.
Oh, guys, where have I been? I posted a video probably a year ago now. It just feels so long. I've left you guys hanging. I'm so sorry. But I'm back. We back on track, okay? It is my Jesus year. My birthday just passed. I am officially double three, and I'm all about my rebirth. I'm all about getting my life on track, and that includes this here YouTube. Okay. So what have I been doing? Well, if you didn't know, your girl had a baby. Your girl was pregnant last year. I had a baby, and I've been mothering for the past year. And so I've been trying to find ways to balance my life, balance my baby, my job, my home, my marriage, and then now my content. So I'm working on that, finding a balance of putting everything together and to be able to create what I want to create, you know? So that's it. Here we are. So since I've been gone, due to my pregnancy and having a child, I want to kind of talk about my birth story, because it was a quite interesting one, if I do say so myself. So my whole pregnancy, and I'll probably, maybe, I don't want to guarantee it, but I'll probably post videos that I had taken during my pregnancy. I had tried to vlog a couple of times. I just never edited and put the videos up. So I'll think about putting them up probably on a random day, maybe like a throwback Thursday. I'll put them up if y'all are interested in that. But other than that, I'm going to try to just kind of move on forward. So anywho, I had a pretty easy breezy pregnancy, to say the least. I never had morning sickness. Actually, the only time I really got sick or felt sick, like nauseous, was when I had any type of soup. So that includes like bouillon, soup joumou, anything like that made me kind of feel queasy. But other than that, I didn't have morning sickness. Any other kind of horror stories that people have had in their pregnancies, I did not have. I was fine. I was small. Up until that last trimester. Ooh, that last trimester will get you. And that's where my birth story begins. I went to my 37-week checkup, and it was a normal checkup. At that point, I was going to get checkups every week. I believe once you hit 35 or 36 weeks, you start going every week for your checkup. And so I went for my normal checkup. My plan that I had was always go to my checkup with my husband, usually like 15 minutes, everything's fine, boom, 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 and then I go to work. So this was a regular day, got up perfectly fine. I didn't eat. I usually don't eat before doctor's appointments just in case they gotta take blood or whatever. And so I didn't eat. I had my oatmeal ready to go. Because at the time I used to eat oatmeal every day at work. I wanted to wait till I get to work to eat my breakfast. I get there, do my normal check-in and all this stuff. And the nurse comes to take my vitals, take my temperature, great, does my blood pressure. We're talking, laughing, because at this point they know who we are. And then she goes, and I was like, what? She did the blood pressure again. And then she's like, is your blood pressure usually high? And I started laughing. I was like, no, because I've always been known to have extremely low blood pressure, like freakishly low. So I was like, no. And she was like, it's coming up really high. And I said, okay. So then the doctor comes in. She's like, your blood pressure's high. I'm going to check it again. Okay. Checks it again. We're going to send you to the hospital. So me and my husband were just like, okay. So she's like, Dr. So-and-so is on call right now. You're going to go to the hospital to get checked, blah, blah, blah. Fine. In my mind, I'm thinking, all right, we're going to go to the hospital. They're probably going to give us some meds to bring my blood pressure down. I might still go to work or might just go home. We get to the hospital, literally have to check in as if we're coming to deliver the baby. We're checking into the maternity ward. Going in, getting checked or whatever. They check the blood pressure again. It's still high. Now at this point, they're putting me on the monitors, you know, the big old belly monitor to get the baby's heart rate and all this stuff. We're still sitting there like, we're obviously not going to deliver the baby anytime soon because I'm not having contractions. I'm not having any type of like labor symptoms. I mean, at that point, I've been having like Braxton Hicks contractions for a couple weeks, but I'm just like, I'm so used to it that it's not like, I know I'm not in labor, water and break, nothing like that. So yeah, I never made it to work. Matter of fact, I never left the hospital. So that was early in the morning. We probably got there maybe like 10 a.m. Yeah, we was there all day. It got to the point where they were like, well, we have to now put you on magnesium to help bring your blood pressure down. And we're going to give you Pitocin to try to induce you. Now, since you're going to be on magnesium, you have to put a catheter in because you can't get out of bed. It makes you woozy. You can't eat. You can't drink. Nothing. Y'all, if I knew I was finna be induced or given this magnesium, I would have went ahead and ate some food. I did not eat anything because I was really waiting on my oatmeal at work. So, they put me on all this stuff and I went from being okay to not okay. Oh, I felt like garbage. Oh, complete basura. It was horrible. I was starving. I ended up getting a headache. I ended up throwing up. And my husband just said they didn't know what to do. I mean, and he wasn't prepared either. He works overnight. He had just came from work. His plan was to just go to my checkup with me and then come back home to rest. We didn't have a hospital bag packed. I had nothing prepared for this, okay? In my mind, I still had time. I was 37 weeks. I had time. I had actually planned to finish all my packing and stuff the upcoming weekend. And this, I believe, was like a Tuesday. So, yeah, I ended up being on all this stuff. By about 11 p.m., the doctor came to check my cervix. And from that, let's say I was put on everything by 11 p.m. I did not even move about half a centimeter dilated. Now, my baby girl was snugged good. She was fine. Heart rate never changed. She was chilling. She knew it wasn't her time. Me, my blood pressure, They didn't know what was happening. And mind you, at that time, I was swollen. I knew I had gained weight. I didn't realize I had so much water weight. My feet were really swollen. I started wearing like compression socks a lot. I didn't know that it connected to high blood pressure. I had even had a couple headaches prior to that, but I'm used to having headaches and them going away. And so, again, I've never dealt with high blood pressure, so I didn't know. So by the time the doctor came around 11 p.m., 11:30, she was like, we're going to have to do a C-section because your blood pressure's not going down. Like, you basically have preeclampsia. And my husband was like, is there no other option? He did not. He wasn't for the C-section. Whereas I technically wasn't for the C-section either. I would have loved to have at least tried natural if I could have. But I felt like trash, that I just wanted whatever would make me feel better. Like, I felt sick. I threw up. All I had was Jello and ice. So I was just like, whatever. And the reason why I wanted to get off of it too was because the nurse said when she was putting me on the magnesium that I would be on the magnesium, meaning I couldn't get out of bed, do anything for myself, and be with a catheter in me. I would be on magnesium up until 24 hours after the baby is born. And I said, we don't even know when the baby's gonna be born. And she said, yeah. So at that point, I was like, yeah, let's get the baby out, because I ain't gonna be doing this for 2-3 days. No. So, they got the OR ready, and I went ahead and had a C-section. It was an interesting experience. I remember the room being cold. It was because it was pushing midnight. The room being cold. I remember nurses in there, so nice. Oh, the nurses were so nice. Because I was shivering, they got me a heated blanket. Oh, it was great. Epidural, breeze, didn't even feel it. That was the least of my worries. The C-section itself, it felt like they kept mushing my belly. I didn't even know they were in my belly, because you know you're awake. I didn't know they had gotten in. I was so fearful of feeling something. I felt movement and didn't realize that they had gotten in until I saw my baby. All I heard was head, and then and then the baby just popped up, and we were like, oh snap. But yeah, they were quick. She came out, she was about little tiny thing, 5 pounds, 2 ounces. Miss Willow, yeah, took me for a whirlwind. And then I remember us being rolled back into the room. They put her right on me, rolled us back into the room, and was like, yeah, here's your baby for the night. And I'm just thinking, we have nothing prepared. Nothing. So at that point, I'm like, okay, this is normal. Baby's born. Cool. The next morning, the nurses come to check on the baby, come check on me. They're telling me that the baby's temperature is too cold for their liking. So they want to take her to run tests. So they take her to the NICU. Fine with us because we is tired. Okay? Tired. And then they come in to check me. My blood pressure is still high. However, crazy enough, as soon as I had the baby, when I tell you my swelling dropped like that. My feet were back to like slim, my hands, everything dropped. And for some strange reason, we ended up staying in the hospital for a week. Now, most of the times, people who have a vaginal birth, I believe, are usually in the hospital maybe 2 days. 3 is like a stretch if you haven't maybe pooped yet or something. And then C-section might be like a day longer than that. But no, you're not in the hospital more than 3-4 days after giving birth, normally. I was there for a solid 7 days. My blood pressure not go down. They moved me from the delivery area to the recovering mommy's area. Every nurse that came, my blood pressure was so high that they ended up bringing me back to delivery unit. And I'm talking about there was a night they were putting so much drugs into my IV. I could feel the ice cold drug in my vein. They wrapped my bed with like sheets and pillowcases like on the armrest, because they're like, well, your blood pressure is so high you could potentially have a seizure. And I'm at this point I'm freaking out. I'm like, what? A seizure? So while I'm dealing with all of that, my husband stayed with me the whole time, never left. My sister, my mom flew in and took turns coming to the hospital. A couple of my friends came to see me. But every day was just your blood pressure not going down, your blood pressure not going down. Then it went from, because they had me on Tylenol, ibuprofen, Oxy, stool softener, vitamins, all these different things, and blood pressure medication, that everything started going crazy. Then they're like, every blood test they're doing, they're like, oh, now your liver seems trouble, or this seems trouble. So now while I'm dealing with all of that, my baby girl was still in the NICU every day with something else. She went in there for temperature, then it turned into a jaundice issue. Then I'm talking like baby girl was feeding through a tube for a little bit. Then it went through her blood sugar levels and all these things that they were checking on both of us. And it ended up being that either I thought that one of us were going to leave the hospital before the other. It was either my daughter was going to get out and be fine, or I was going to get out and my daughter, would still be in there. But God made it that we were discharged at the same time. Every day we wanted to leave. I mean, really, the first couple of days, it was like, all right, blah, blah, blah. I mean, seriously, by day 4 or 5, I was getting cabin fever. I hadn't seen outside. I just wanted to be home. And I remember a doctor came in and said to me, you just experienced trauma to your body. You just gave birth, you had a C-section. Your blood pressure is not going to drop down anytime soon. Your body's trying to get back to normal. And having a nurse come in every 20 minutes to check you is definitely not going to make your blood pressure go down. He said you need to go home in a nice, calm environment, and it should go down. And eventually it did. It took a couple weeks. I was on medication for a couple weeks, checking my blood pressure like every hour, every 3 hours. Every time I went to take my medication, I was going back for postpartum appointments weekly after, until my blood pressure went back down. So now it's down. Now my blood pressure is like normal range. So like normal range is 120/80. I used to be like a 90/60 chick, but now I'm in the normal range. So yeah, it was quite scary and interesting. I will say that what's also interesting is because I was in the hospital for a week. Remember that I went in on my 37-week checkup, right? The following week when I got out, I think I went to see my doctor maybe 2 days after I left the hospital. I had lost 20 pounds in 1 week. I don't know if it was the drugs that I was on, the not really eating, avoiding certain things to try to get the blood pressure down, all the medication. I don't know what it was, or if it was just that much water weight from being so swollen and the blood pressure, but I lost 20 pounds in 1 week. Crazy. So it was an interesting experience. So yes, I gave birth. However, I still have not experienced what it's like to have your water break. I have not experienced going through labor. I have not experienced having excruciating contractions or pushing out a child. Now, Will I do this again? If you're asking me today, I'm gonna tell you, I'm chilling. I can't. It's really ghetto. There's a lot. For the sake of just sheer want, sure, I would probably want another kid, but I'm also very content not going through that again. But all in all, I'm thankful. I'm thankful that it was smooth. I'm thankful that God protected me and my daughter. I'm thankful that people prayed for us when we was in the hospital. Although it wasn't normal, although it wasn't normal circumstance of what people expected, it wouldn't, if it's me, it would never be normal. So I'm grateful that God had his hand over the whole thing. I'm grateful that he gave me a safe and healthy, to say the least, delivery, and that my daughter is now about to turn 1 in a couple weeks, child. And I can't believe that was a year ago that I was laid up in the hospital. It was crazy. But I'm grateful. I'm grateful. And I have wanted to talk about my birthing story for so long. There's just so much that has gone into being a mom. And so I will talk about that in my next couple of videos. I'm talking about going back to work, what that's been like. I'm talking about exclusively being a pumper and not a nursing mom. What that was like, postpartum, period. What that's like. So I want to talk about all that stuff because this is my new normal, child. It's my new normal. And of course, I'm gonna throw in a whole bunch of junk, because it wouldn't be Samara Says without junk. So I appreciate those of y'all who have been waiting for me to come back. I appreciate those of you who are watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Comment your birthing story. Comment any questions you might have about my birthing story. I may have left some things out. I mean, it's been some time. It's no longer fresh in my mind. Like certain things, I remember the main points, but it's been a little bit. So ask away. Ask me any questions about my overall hospital experience. And yeah, I look forward to dropping more videos. I haven't decided when, what will be my drop days. I want to have a specific drop days so y'all know. But I keep y'all posted in that because I don't want to make no promises I can't keep. You know what I mean? Okay. Thank y'all for watching another episode of Samara Says. See you next time. Samara Says.